Hello everyone, Earl Henderson, Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching. I have another Monday quarterback video for you. I'm going to play the entirety of this video and then I'll go back and talk about things that are going on and talk about things that I think that were done right and or done wrong. Without further ado, here we go.
The information, audio, and visuals you're about to see are intended to provide details of an officer-involved shooting which occurred on the 16th of June, 2021 at about 9:44 p.m. in the 2700 block of South Union Avenue. An investigation into the use of force is being conducted to determine whether the actions of the officers were in compliance with law and department policy. At the conclusion of the criminal investigation, all of the details will be released to the Kern County District Attorney for independent review. Bakersfield Police Department officers are equipped with body-worn cameras. The cameras do not capture everything the officers saw or experienced and do not encompass the entirety of the investigation, which includes witness interviews, forensic processing, and administrative review. The footage is being released to the community in an effort to provide transparency. Conclusions about the officers' actions with regard to law and policy will not be made until all facts are known and the investigation is complete. On Wednesday, June 16th at 9 p.m., officers attempted to conduct a vehicle code enforcement stop on a vehicle with no front license plate. Officers observed a rear license plate, which was flagged as a suspect vehicle in a prior postal theft investigation. However, the plate did not match the make or model of the vehicle it was affixed to. The attempted vehicle stop was at Olive Drive and Knudsen Drive. The vehicle did not yield to officers and a vehicle pursuit began. Bakersfield Police Department patrol vehicles are not equipped with dash-mounted cameras.
50 Olive and Knudsen, Foster Knudsen, 8 George, David George, 378, on a white Toyota.
350, Tenson.
350, remaining cellular deal.
Cellular deal. So 33 on channel 2, Olive and Knudsen.
Southbound Knudsen, offense, 1 and out. Team copy. 350, southbound approaching Olive speed is 60. The eastbound on Olive.
Copy, eastbound Olive at 60 miles.
Eastbound Olive past 99, speed 60.
Continuing eastbound passing 99.
No traffic, no feds.
At approximately 9:13 p.m., the Kern County Sheriff's Office patrol helicopter joined the pursuit.
Air 1, we're going to be through Oak, so eastbound number 24, speeds are approximately 50. There's moderate traffic, currently no units in pursuit.
Copy, eastbound 24th from Oak through the red.
During the pursuit, a passenger in the suspect vehicle exited from it in the downtown area. He was detained by assisting units as the pursuit continued.
Vehicle coming to a stop on Cedar, just south of number 22, possibly a footbelt standby.
Copy, stopped at Cedar, south of 22nd.
Air 1 to 22 last, continuing southbound Cedar, passing through 20th Street now.
Copy, southbound Cedar from 20th.
Air 1, we're going to be away westbound, number 19 from Cedar. Speeds are approximately 30. There is no traffic, no pedestrians.
Copy, westbound 19 from Cedar, 30 miles.
Air 1, continuing westbound, number 19 approaching Oak. If there's a unit that could check the welfare of a possible subject down the west alley of A at number 22 where the subject exited, unknown if there was going to be an unseen vehicle versus head. We're away southbound Oak, approaching number correction Truxton.
Now southbound Oak approaching Truxton. Unit to check the west alley A Adams Street at 22nd.
The pursuit continued through Bakersfield with the supervisor terminating the ground pursuit at 9:17 p.m. due to the dangerous manner in which the suspect was operating the vehicle. Despite no ground units being in pursuit, the suspect vehicle continued to travel with disregard for public safety. At 9:32 p.m., officers deployed a tire deflation device which began to slow the suspect vehicle. An additional deployment of a tire deflation device occurred at 9:34 p.m. at South Chester Avenue and Plans Road. Ground units reinitiated a ground pursuit. As the pursuit continued, it was joined by 2 plainclothes police units who were in the area conducting surveillance regarding an unrelated investigation. At approximately 9:44 p.m., the suspect vehicle appeared to become disabled due to previous tire deflation deployments. The vehicle came to a stop in the 2700 block of South Union Avenue. The driver of the vehicle immediately fled on foot and entered an uninvolved occupied vehicle that was stopped in the roadway. The suspect attempted to carjack that vehicle. This video is graphic in nature and contains strong language. Viewer discretion is advised. The following video was obtained from a media live streamer. Multiple police officers converged on the occupied vehicle that the suspect fled into the passenger seat of. An undercover officer wearing a body armor vest approached the vehicle. Due to the officer's physical surveillance on an unrelated investigation, he was not wearing a body camera. The undercover officer observed the suspect struggling with the driver of the victim vehicle while attempting to carjack it. The officer discharged his firearm, striking the suspect. He was the only officer to discharge his firearm. The first body-worn camera footage is of a responding officer approaching the victim's side of the carjacked vehicle. You will see the officer deploy his taser device at the suspect, which appears to have no effect. Immediately after this is when the undercover officer discharges his firearm out of view on the other side of the victim's vehicle.
Watch out, watch out, get the door, watch out, watch out, watch out! Get the fuck out! Get the fuck out right now! Get on the fuck out, get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the fucking...
The following video is body-worn camera footage of a witness officer on the suspect's side of the vehicle. The following video is body-worn camera footage of a witness officer on the suspect's side of the vehicle.
Fire! Watch crossfire!
Officers provided medical aid to the suspect, who was struck by the officer's gunfire. He was transported to an area hospital and survived his injury. The investigation revealed that the victim of the carjacking had no association to the suspect. The suspect vehicle was determined to be stolen. The victim of the carjacking was rescued unharmed. The suspect was wearing a holster on his right hip. His firearm was recovered from the victim's vehicle. This is an ongoing investigation. Conclusions about the involved officer's actions with regard to law and policy will not be made until all facts are known and the investigation is complete. All subjects are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. The Bakersfield Police Department's use of force policy, including deadly force policy, is available to the public at www.bakersfieldpd.us.
All right, let's get into it. Trying to find the spot where I need to start at. All right, so it noted earlier, and I thought maybe it skipped it, what I was looking for. Well, what I was looking for was one of these slides mentioned that they have body cameras, but it also mentioned that none of their cars have dash
The footage
cam.
is being released.
I found that kind of interesting, especially in California. Like you would have thought that in California, they would have dash cam footage, but apparently they don't. And this is one of those things that in some states, cars are required to have 2 license plates. in Kentucky, we don't have that requirement, just one. But they're going to make this stop on him because he only has one license plate on there. And then that one license plate that that is on it was tied to a theft investigation, and the plate that's on the vehicle doesn't match with what it comes back to, or what it's on. So whatever that plate comes back to doesn't match the description of the vehicle that it's on. There we go. There's the dash mounted camera thing. So there's that. If you listen to the radio traffic,
Cellular deals. So 33 on channel 2, all up in this.
so he gives out the offense, which in my area that's not a typical kind of thing said on the radio. But here it's obvious that they're calling that stuff out for supervisor, and the supervisor is going to be the one who makes the determination on whether or not they get to continue the pursuit or if they get to end it. The speeds, I mentioned the speeds. They also talk about no traffic or no PEDs, PEDs being pedestrian or pedestrians. So they talk about all that stuff in their radio traffic, and then that gives the supervisor an idea of whether or not he needs to end it or not. And they did end up ending the pursuit. The helicopter continued to follow, but the dude was still driving crazy and putting people at risk, even though the police cars stopped following him with their lights and siren on. So they had to reinitiate this pursuit. I mentioned this was a media live streamer, so I don't know if it's just a random person that decided to stream live, or if it was what they call a streamer, someone who kind of follows police scanner traffic and follows these incidents and then tries to videotape it and record it and sell their footage to larger news companies. Don't know which one's going on, but if that's cell phone footage, I guess that's pretty good cell phone footage. All right, go back into the video. I just now noticed something. He's got something on his steering wheel, and it's hard to make out what it is. Maybe it's paper for writing notes or something. I'm not really sure what that is. Whatever it is, I don't think it needs to be there because airbag deployments, you really don't want shit on the little compartment area where this thing's going to be popping off at, like, I forget how fast an airbag comes out, but it's super fast, and this thing could then become a projectile. I would never recommend mounting things to your steering wheel like this because it's just a danger. But whatever that is should not be there. So you deploy taser, and then obviously from the driver's side all the way over to the passenger side. The wires are obviously broken at this point. There's no way that he deployed taser from the driver's side, ran all the way around the back of the truck into the passenger side, and these wires are still attached. Now, I can't tell very easily what kind of taser he has.
Hey, watch out, get the door, watch out. Get the fuck out. Get the fuck.
It might be a Taser 7, so he might be able to give another pop, but
the following video is body-worn camera.
It's hard to tell from that angle.
right now! Get the fuck out! Get on the ground!
He's got lethal cover from these guys over here. So, I mean, at least he's trying to provide some less lethal cover or options into this scenario while other people have their lethal weapons out. That's the only time less lethals should be utilized, is when other people have lethal weapons out, providing you that cover in case it fails.
Get on the ground! Get on the fucking...
Now, the type of taser he has matters, or would matter, because if it's just a regular X26 with the old school cartridge, then that one pop he gave...
Hey, watch out, get the door, watch out! Crossfire!
Yeah, it has to be...
Fuck out! Get the fuck...
This has to be a newer version of a taser, because I would suspect that anyone at this point would know that moving this far of a distance, the wires on that first cartridge aren't going to work. So this has to be a newer X2 or even a Taser 7 where he has a backup shot in there. I'm hoping that's the fact, or else he's pointing a dead cartridge at this guy and it's not going to do anything when he wants to. So that's the nice thing about the X2 and the Taser 7 is they do have a backup cartridge in there. So if you miss once or that first shot, you get clothing disconnect or whatever, you got that follow-up shot that you can utilize, and it's a lot quicker than trying to do a reload in the middle of a fight.
Fuck out right now! Get on the fuck out! Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Get on the fucking...
The following video is body-worn camera. The following video is body-worn camera footage of a witness officer on the
ground.
Now, I'm not the biggest fan of how this officer here has the taser on him, and then this guy is the closest of them all with lethal cover, and then he just backs away and holsters his gun. Not a big fan of that at all. If you're going to be committed up front with your lethal cover, then damn it, stay in that fight. Yeah, that was too soon for him to back away and start holstering. I mean, yeah, like he's in the better position than any of them to provide lethal cover for this guy who has no lethal cover than this guy or the guy over here. He has the best position, and he is already holstering the gun and then backing away from the incident.
Officers provided medical
Not a
aid to the
fan of that
suspect,
at all.
who was struck by the officer's gunfire, so that the victim of the hit. Investigation. Conclusions of the investigative law is available to the public.
Oh, there we go.
This is an
his gun. So another Glock design. However, this trigger guard right here, in true California fashion, appears to be the ghost gun lower. I don't know if it mentions anything about him having a ghost gun.
His firearm was recovered from the victim's vehicle.
Yeah, I don't think it mentions anything about ghost gun, but this is the typical trigger guard for a quote unquote ghost gun. And notice that he has a piece of shit attachment for his gun. This looks like the I believe it's NC Star brand. It looks like that kind of light. It looks like a flashlight here and a little laser there. Real like crap, man. Like it's a piece of shit. It's great that criminals choose piece of shit accessories for their guns because they're not that reliable. But it's not good for any other good people. So weapon-mounted lights, as I've mentioned before, it needs to be Surefire, Streamlight, or even Mod Light. Anything else, don't even consider it. These criminals they're fascinated by what they call the beams. And so they love these little laser beam attachments on their pistols. And you know what? I'm willing to bet that a lot of them don't even understand that you got to fucking zero the damn thing. How many of them don't realize that? I don't know, but I've talked to a couple before, who bragged about having the beam on their gun, and I asked them, what kind they have, and they would kind of describe it, and I'd ask, well, how'd you zero it? And they were completely aloof on what I meant by zeroing it. I was like, zero, like you got to turn little buttons to make the laser move to get it accurate. They had no idea what the hell I was talking about. So it's just, it makes me wonder, like, how many of these dumbasses out there buy these little attachments and stick it on the gun, but never zero the damn thing. There has to be a large number of them out there. And, great, it's not really great because, wherever they're pointing the laser at is where they think they're shooting at. And realistically, the rounds are going somewhere else. So, I guess it's good for that intended target, but for everyone else, while the laser is pointing at them, but the barrel's pointing somewhere else, if you're somewhere else, then you're kind of screwed. So the rest of the public's kind of screwed when these mouth breathers put these lasers on there and they don't ever zero the damn things. But yeah, no telling how many of them out there put those on there and don't even zero them. But man, they love bragging about the beams. I got that Glock with the beam, bruh. Yeah, bruh. Anyway, that's about it on what I wanted to talk about. I don't see any issues with the shooting itself. We don't get to see a whole lot of footage from the shooting itself, other than this guy doing the shooting. And my only gripe is this guy backing away way too soon and holstering his gun way too soon, while he is the best one there in that position to deal with this threat if it becomes deadly. And this guy is stuck with just a less lethal. He should have stayed in the fight a little bit longer than what he did. So that's my only real gripe about this. Everything else seems fine to me. If you like what you hear and see, go ahead and give me a like and a share. If you have not already, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more Monday quarterback videos. Earl Henderson with Primordial Defense. Thank you for watching.